V'achachma kazeh hu b'chinas chachmei la. And this wisdom is the concept of supernal wisdom. So you have the spiritual understanding of tzitzis and tefillin, choshen and ephod, and ach b'chinas matan Torah, but that's the concept of the giving of the Torah. Hu b'chinas hispashtus chachmazu is the concept of the spreading out of the wisdom. Lemata, below, levarer birurim, to purify purifications al yedei shiyasu tzitzis mitzemer gashmis v'tefillin miklav chulu, through actually making the tzitzis from physical wool and the tefillin from parchment and so forth. It's not just the wisdom of it, but it's as it spreads out. That second concept in wisdom, not just b'chachmaso, but rather yadoa osi. And therefore the Torah is called the supernal allegory, that it's an allegory to it, to how it spreads out, that you have the spiritual concepts of tefillin and tzitzis, and then you have the physical concept of it. And in order to draw this down below, so far into a concept of an existence, it's through drawing down from a higher concept than supernal wisdom, Bats Musa, on its own, as is understood from what we said before. So it's higher than Chochmei Bats Musa. That in order to give down flow below, it's through a stronger wisdom. Al derech mashal, for example, allegorically, v'hagam she'amshacha atzma nimshach lamata nikrarak vatimale kada. And even though the drawing downwards is drawn down below, that's called only that she fills up her jug. So the kada is kaf dalid sfarim deoraisa, which refers to the 24 books of the Torah. It's only a jug from the sea of wisdom. So that's drawing down below, is to, so to speak, gather up in a small jug from the sea of wisdom. But in order to do that, in order to even get that small jug, you have to draw down. Its root of this hamshacha is higher than the essential sea of wisdom itself. Just like the allegory is physical, and it's drawn down specifically from the depth of wisdom, that's the sage who can give over such an allegory. And that's like it says that the wise person should not praise himself for his wisdom, that which is the supernal wisdom, and that you are wise but not with a knowable wisdom. It's not yedia, it's not yedo osiyat. But rather he should praise himself and so forth. That is, that this wisdom is drawn down truly below, to purify purifications. That the root of this drawing down is drawn down from higher than supernal wisdom. And this is what it's written. Wisdom's outside. Today mashma, that in order to draw it down, you have to have wisdoms in the plural. That you have to draw down also from the supernal wisdom, from a higher wisdom than the regular chachmei law, if you want to bring it down b'chutz. And it's not enough to draw down from supernal wisdom itself. When the hidden wisdom is what is much, much higher than the concept of wisdom. Like it's explained in Zohar in the Idra Rabbah of Parshas Naso, Yisro, and drawing this down, that's what's made possible through the acknowledgement of Yisro. Shu inyan hachachma min hasichlus, which is the concept of the greatness of wisdom over the external wisdom. Shal yidei biur hasichlus, through purifying that external wisdom, mashenafal b'shvira, that which fell down in the breaking of the vessels, mechabad tohu, from the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge of tohu, shelamayla mechachma d'atzilus, which is higher than the wisdom of atzilus. Al yidei zeh nimshach b'chinas mochas dima, through this you draw down the hidden wisdom, the shakit v'shachich al dordaya, which is silent and resting upon its dregs. Shubichinas hashmarim, which is this concept of the dregs of wisdom, or the breaking of the vessels. Dahinu al yidei biur hatov min shmari ofanim kanal, which is the purification of the good from the dregs of the angels that are called wheels, that they're called shmarim. It's a purification of the concept of what fell down from the breaking of the vessels. Through this you draw down the hidden wisdom, like we said. And then specifically you can have the giving of the Torah, which, like we said, is to draw down all the way, and not just wisdom for itself. It's tivia dosi. I guess it's an ish das lama. And this drawing down had to be at the beginning of the giving of the Torah, and just like by the establishment of the temple, that in order to start it out and begin it, you had to have an extra light, like the pouring of the oil on the kelim, which I guess is also a concept of hamshachas chachma, with besami minute, hinting to a keser in chachma. And similarly, it's explained in what does it mean? The mezuzah on the right side and the Hanukkah candle on the left side. Or that the Hanukkah candle, that's the concept of drawing down an extra light. And in order to draw down this extra light of the Hanukkah candle, you have to bring it up from the mezuzah and so forth. Ayin Shem, look over there. I guess it's a concept of Hodah, similar to Yisro. Or like it explains over there the difference between the breath, the air with the extra yud, and the light. I guess like he said, he brought before the concept of Rav and Rebbe, that the Rebbe has the extra yud of the biddle, and so too you can understand allegorically that a bonfire shines further, much further than the light of a candle, because of the great light of the bonfire on its own. Therefore it'll also reach to a further place, which is not the case with the light of the candle. And so too, in order to bring down the light of Torah all the way down to the world of Asiyah, it's to a greater luminary on its own. Like our sages says, that the luminary in the Torah brings him back to good, and that's the higher wisdom, the hidden wisdom, like we said before. And in order to draw down this bonfire and this extra, with the Tosefes Ha'or and this extra light, this is through the elevation of Yisro. I guess is Hodah Yisron Ha'or, that through this you have the Yisron of the light, the greatness of the light. Through it, that's the concept of this bonfire, this greatening of this drawing down from a higher wisdom. In order so that and then through this this light can spread out, this light of Torah can spread out below. Inyan matan Torah, and that's the concept of the giving of the Torah. Mikal ze yuvan gamkin inyan hamila. With all this, you can also understand the concept of the milah. The kasha lama nivra adam harishon below orla. That it's hard to understand why was Adam Harishon created without this orla. Lama nivra be orla. Lama lo nivra Adam Harishon below orla. Why wasn't Adam Harishon created without a foreskin? Lama nivra be orla. Why was he created with a foreskin? V'shid stark lamol, and the need to circumcise it. Acha inyan, but the concept is ki ha orla zeu bechinus mutaros, that this orla, the foreskin, is a concept of something extra. The yeser, to elevate vubichinas gimel klippos, and it's a concept of the three impure klippos al derech ashtes yirios chulu, like we said, that you have the 11 is lacking. It has some this extra. The ashtesrei is a concept of extra in comparison to shtei masar. Like he said before, with ashtesrei yirios chulu earlier in the Mamer, that the ashtesrei, the 11, is a concept of the kisrin de misavusa instead of 10. But through cutting this foreskin, nasa Yisro na or b'kedusha, you have the greatening of the light and holiness, maybe rozek ukanal, from this purification. And like we said, binyan yeser of Yisro, with the concept of yeser and Yisro, l'chein haya b'mishkan gam kin yirios izim, and that's why in the Mishkan you also had the skins of the goats, b'chadei sheyiyeh Yisro na or chulu, in order to have the greatness of the light from this level. So why do you have, if Ashtei Yirios is a concept of Klippa, so why do you have it in the Mishkan? But rather it's like Yeser and Yisro, to purify the Yeser, to elevate that extra concept, the concepts that are extra, Kihini B'Kedusha Rak Eser Yirios, Al Derech Moshe Kasu B'Sefer Yetzirah, because in holiness you'd only have 10 skins, like it's brought in the book of Yitzira, Eser v'lo achad asar chulu, that in holiness it's 10 but not 11. B'klippa yesh yud aleph, but in the klippa you have 11. B'chinos v'zeu yud aleph b'chinos, you have 11 concepts. V'zeu yud aleph simamani hakatores, and that's the 11 spices of the ketores. V'atam, and the reason, ki b'kedusha shahar nimshach b'akelim, that in holiness, as the lights are drawn down into the vessels, b'bechinas giloi, in the concept of revelation, efshar lios rak eser bechinos, you can only have 10 concepts. Lo bechinas yud aleph, but not that 11th. She efshar lo lislabish bekli chulu, that concept cannot be enclosed in a vessel, and so forth. Umash b'sitra achra yesh yud aleph, but in this, that on the other side is 11. Yesh bechinos yud aleph bechinos, zo mitzad shenaflu nitzutzos b'shviras hakelim. That's because you have the sparks that fell in the breaking of the vessels, but not in a revealed state. So you have this 11th concept, but it in Klippa refers to a Yanika to Klippa, Va'af Gamzos, Hine Bechinas Ayudalef, Bechinas Makif, Vinikra Levona Chulu. But also in these 11 concepts, it's an encompassing idea. It doesn't go in, but it enlivens from above, so to speak, and it's called the levona of the spices of the ketores. The whiteness, meaning the or makif, that enlivens them. That 11th concept, v'nimsa biyos b'chinas ayud aleph b'klipos zeu b'chinas yeser ashtei asar. So it's found then that when you have 11 concepts in klippa, that's that extra idea, that 11th. Aval kishenasu memenu yirios, but when you make it into skins for the Mishkan, al eser yirios ha-Mishkan, on the 10 skins of the Mishkan, v'nasim b'chinas yeser al Yisron ha'or. So you cause then from that extra, from the yeser, to become Yisron, a greatness of light, eser yirios tikadusha chulu, in the 10, within the 10 skins of holiness and so forth. So similar to how we said that that's the flame of the wick, that the shemen is the oil, is the chachma, but the kav is the kli, which is the psila, and the flame itself is that yisron. So you have then the 10 in kedusha, and you have this yisron or that flame on top of it, which is that 11th level, the makif. And so in general, we say that 11th concept is in Klippa, but here we're saying that that 11th concept is actually the part that you're mivarer, that concept that you elevate through the Biur is that 11th concept. It's the Yisro of Chachma from Sichlus or from Choshech.